Good evening, everybody. This is Brady Rude with Smoky Mountain Stamping, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. And welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. And hope everybody's doing well. It's Thursday night, October 20th, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, hey Karen, good to see you. First one here, welcome. I've got a fun fold card for you tonight and some other things. I've got just some other little things. Like I said, I'm trying to stick to my Facebook Lives, but things are a little crazy right now, so I'm just doing them as I can. Hope everybody is okay with that. Hi Barb, good to see you on here. I have a really fun card. It's cute. It's a monochromatic card, which I really like those kind of cards, and I'll be interested to see if you guys like those as well. And then I've got another little card that I made, and then I'm going to probably do the same fun fold card in a different way. Let's see, sorry. Hey Karen, good to see you. So just a few things that are going on with Stampin' Up! Right now while we're waiting for a few folks to jump on here. Right now we have a fantastic special, the starter kit special. So when you join Stampin' Up!, and all that means is you just get to get a discount. That's the best thing about it, is you get to purchase your stuff at a discount. For $99, which the starter kit's always $99 with plus tax, and it's free shipping. Normally you just get $125 worth of product, which is still a really great deal. But this month you get $155 worth of product, and you get to pick out all of it yourself. Which is a really big deal because a lot of companies don't let you pick out everything in your starter kit. There's another one that I'm kind of like, I really like their stuff and I don't want to sell it or anything, I just want to get their discount. But they don't let me pick out the stuff, and so like I don't want the stuff that they're putting in the kit, so it's like, not going to do it. So that's one of the great things I love about Stampin' Up! Is that you get to pick everything that's in your starter kit. When I started 20 years ago, we did not get to pick everything in our kit. We got to pick out a few things. We got to pick a few colors, but they pretty much had determined what was going to be in the kit, and it was a lot more expensive too. So anyway, things have changed quite a bit, but it's a great deal. And the best thing is you get to, hey Susie, good to see you here. The best thing is you get to shop with that discount and get all of your favorite stuff. It's a great way if you have a big long wish list. It's a great way to knock out that wish list. You get a 20% discount as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You also get to attend some really fun Stampin' Up! Events, and the majority of the people that are in Stampin' Up! Do it just for fun. But if you do want to do it as a business, that option is always there, and it's great because it's always, you can go back and forth. I've gone back and forth between doing it as a hobby and doing it as a business over the years. I've just gone back and forth, and depending on where I am at that time. So it's great to have that flexibility as well. So if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. If you are ready to join and you would like some help filling out the paper, not the paperwork because it's all online, but if you would like some help placing your order or figuring out what to put in your very first order, I would be happy to do that too. We have a great Smoky Mountain Stamping team, and between all of our levels now, I think we have 17 on our team, so that's fun. We're going to have some team events. And we just love to get together and craft and just have a really good time. Eat. We always eat a lot. So if you would like to be part of that, we would love to have you. Let's see. There's also the pre-order. Well, part of the cool thing about getting to join Stampin' Up! Right now is there's a pre-order for demonstrators only, and I'm going to show you some of the products in just a minute. But it's the fitting framed florets, festive florets, something like that, florets. And we get to pre-order that before customers do. And if you love those products, you can actually add those to your starter kit too. Hey Renee, good to see you on here. So it's just really a great time to join. Let's see what else we got. Paper pumpkin. Everybody should have their paper pumpkins by now. We just got the Happy Ho Ho kit, and it's adorable. And so the November kit is going to coordinate with that. It's tags, and it's going to coordinate with that. So you'll have cards after this month, and then you'll have tags next month. So if you're interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, you can do that. You have until the 10th of the month to subscribe, and so that's coming up. And I think that's all for right now. it's kind of a little bit quieter than normal. Like back in a couple months ago, we had about 500 different things going on. It was really hard to keep up with it all. But anyway, let me go ahead and I'm going to turn my camera down and start working on this card. I've got quite a little mess here on my table, but the rest of my craft room is looking good. I did a little, I went to IKEA when I was in Virginia Beach during fall break, and so I was able to, let's see if you can, I'll pull out here and see. So over in this corner, I have new Alex drawers over here. Let me shut this one. My cat just came crawling out of one drawer. I don't know how she got into it. But anyway, so I'm really happy with that because then I've got the matching Alex drawers over here too. So this was when I originally kind of planned out my little room here. That was the way I had planned it. And then, let me see, I'm going to, hang on a second. I'll flip the camera around after I shut my door so you don't see outside into the real world out there. But now, I don't mind to flip my camera because now I've moved my tall Alex drawers over there and I stacked them. And then my husband and I made that this little shelf right here. And then I have my little brother. Now this is the one piece over here. This is a yard sale piece, and so that's the last piece I've got to replace. And hopefully maybe at Christmas, I'm going back to Virginia Beach, actually Thanksgiving. And so hopefully I will get a little piece to replace that. So let me turn this, oh boy, this new little doohickey I've got is great, but then sometimes I get all out of whack. So let's get you turned the correct way here. And I believe, yep, my light is on. So my cat was chewing on the cord a little while ago. All right, so here is the card we're going to make. And it's just a little pocket card. It's really easy as far as fun folds go. Sometimes fun folds can get really complicated, and that is not my cup of tea. And so I'm not going to do a complicated fun fold card. I've got one stamp set over here I need to get out of the way so I don't get my stamps confused. And let me get my embellishments pulled in here because we definitely want to add some embellishments. So that's the one thing I haven't done with this card yet, is to add some embellishments, and so I'm going to probably go ahead and do that before I forget. So this is the Hello Ladybug kit, or stamp set, sorry, not a kit, stamp set. And I love it. It's just adorable. And I really love all the cards. I've seen people do a lot of these cards, well, not monochromatic. This is a monochromatic card, but I've seen them do the little ladybugs in a lot of different colors that are not your traditional ladybug. And so I do have some matte black dots here, and just want to just kind of come in and add a few little dots on here just to give it a little bling. And so when you open this card up, you have this little pocket, and this is where I love that because that little guy pops out of there, and this is where you would write your sentiment. So a super easy card to make, and so that's what we're going to do. And so let me move my stuff back out of the way. A big container of embellishment here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a cardstock color. And I'm going to give you guys just a minute to throw in some feedback. And before I put this away, this is the Hello Ladybug stamp set. And it does have a coordinating punch. And so that makes it easy when you have a punch to go with it. And the punches, the punches are affordable. They're not, not quite as expensive as the dies. And so that makes it a little bit more affordable. But we're using, this is the Brights package of the 6x6 Designer Series paper. So this has all 12 colors that are or all 10 colors that are in the Brights collection. And when you get this pack of paper, you get 40 pieces of paper, and there's 4 of each color. And there's, let's see, 4 designs. So it's double-sided. So here's one side. You got 2 of these. I love this one. That's my favorite one, I think. And then 2 of these. And there's the same patterns in all of the colors. So you get 4 pieces of each color of cardstock. And so my question is, do we do Coastal Cabana? Do we do Gorgeous Grape? Or are we going to do Bermuda Bay? Those are the choices. As you can see, I really like these kind of colors, but I also like purple. So I'm going to give you just a second. If nobody pops in a choice, that I'm just going to grab one and I'll decide. And I'll just do it that way. So let me know what you think if you are watching. Also, let me know where you're watching from. And if you happen to catch us on replay, let me know. Thanks, Susie. Grape. I got 1 vote for Grape. That's kind of what I was leaning towards. Anyway, so you know what? We'll just go ahead and do it. First one wins. Let me put this paper back in here. So now these packs of paper come in all 4 of the color families plus the in color packs. So that's a really great thing to have. All right, so let me see here. Move that out of the way. Now, one thing you have to kind of decide, so I did, as you can see, I did 2 different patterns here. And so you got to kind of just look and see what are the pattern combinations that you like. And hey, Karen, good to see you. We got all the Karens here tonight. I love it. Karen Murphy, Adair, and Hurst, I think. I love it. All right, so I think on this one, I may go with this combination here. And so it's not going to be the same piece of paper, but that's okay. I don't mind that. All right. And I do keep I have a drawer over here behind me. I have 1 drawer for each color family. That's how I keep my scraps organized. Hey, Kathy, good to see you on here. And so when I get my scraps, all I have to do is throw them in the color drawer, the color family drawer that they belong to. All right, you can see where I was doing some practicing earlier. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces first since I have them handy. And I'm going to cut first to, now one thing I don't have to worry about with this, now this one is a little bit directional, so I am going to kind of pay attention to that. I'm going to cut to 5 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 pieces at one time. With the Designer Series paper, you can easily do 2 pieces at one time. And so the first cut I'm going to do is going to be 2 1/4. So it's already 5 1/4, so now it's going to be by 2 1/4. And so when I get done, I actually could make 2 cards because I've got 2 sets cut. They'll just be different. So now the next one is going to be 1 3/4. There we go. Thanks for sharing that, Karen. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to take my scraps and I'm going to toss them in the drawer where they go so that I don't lose them. And now I need to grab a piece of Gorgeous Grape cardstock. And the first thing I'm going to do, and when you do it this way, you score once and then you cut once and you have 2 card bases right off the bat. So I'm going to score first at 4 1/4. So I've got it, this is long ways. So this is on the 8 1/2 edge. And so I'm going to score. I'm going to rotate. And then I'm going to cut at 5 1/2. Oh, know what? Wrong. I'm just sitting here making a regular card and I forgot that we're making a fun fold card. Silly me. Okay. I'll save that for the next time I make a purple card. Okay, so now what we can do is we can still go ahead and make 2 card bases at one time. We just have to think about it a little bit. So we're going to, again, this is on the 8 1/2 by 11, or the 8 1/2 side. And we're going to score at 6 1/2 inches. So I'm going to pull my arm out and score at 6 1/2 inches. I got so excited there. I wasn't thinking. And then we're going to slide down and score at 2 1/2 inches. And then we're going to rotate and cut at 5.5. There we go. So now we do have 2 card bases ready, so I can go ahead and make 2 cards if I wanted to. All right, so I'm going to work on just getting all of my parts and pieces together first, and then we're going to put it together. So the next piece that I need is I need a circle base here. And so I am using this circle from the Seasonal Shapes, I believe. And I've got some scrap cardstock I'm going to pull out. And pull that out. And I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, aka Big Bertha. So let me pull her over here, and I'll pull this out just a little bit so you can see. So if you were one of the ladies that attended my mini Christmas retreat, you got to be really good friends with this machine, because we did a whole lot of die cutting. Oh, mercy. Okay, now I'm going to also cut 2 layers at one time with this. You can do it. Depends on the dies, and I have done this one before, and I know this one works, so you might want to test it out. I usually do run it through, I'll run it through once this way, and before I get all the way to the end, I know that that's all, and then I'll just come back through and cross my fingers. I said that it works. Yes, it worked. Yay. So then the one thing is that it will be, because this has stitches on it, it will be tight together. So just have to kind of play with it for a minute. There we go. Just kind of pop it, and then it will separate. There you go. So that just saves you a little bit of time if you can cut out 2 at a time. So let's put her over to the side and let her rest. Put that die over there. Okay. So we've got our pieces. We've got those. The next thing we need to do is get our ladybug cut out. And so I'm going to grab some scrap of basic black. And I'm going to, and this was just out of my scrap drawer, and it actually works out really well because I can just put this down. I always cut with my stamps. Yeah, Susie, you got to know both Berthas really well. I learned a lot. We will never have that much die cutting in a class ever again, I promise. but you made some beautiful cards. Now, one thing when you're punching these, make sure you have your hands out. Don't let your hand get in here like this, or else you're going to squeeze the meat of your hand, and it is going to hurt like a son of a gun. I'm just going to flip that over and cut out another one. I love how easy that is. Now, one thing you could do with your scraps, if you really wanted to have some fun, is you could cut some funky wings. And I'm going to cut them. I don't know that I'm going to use them, but I'm going to cut some out, and we'll just see what they look like. We may use them, we may not. There we go. I think those are the only ones that I would possibly use. So let me put that in there. And I'm going to save the strips up. Okay. So we've got those done. And now I do need a scrap of my gorgeous grape. And got some in here. And I'm just going to punch out the wings, because we'll see. We'll figure out what we like. And being able to do this, I'm saving some cardstock by not having to punch out the whole thing like that. So I should be done with my punch. And so I am just going to kind of squeeze that and then pull that, and that locks it in place, and so that way it stores nice and flat. I'm going to get it back on the shelf so it's out of my way. I'm trying to learn how to be a neater stamper. I'm not doing very well at it, but it is my goal to be a little bit more neat. All right, so I think we need to cut our piece for the inside. So that piece is going to be 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. So again, I've just got another scrap here I'm going to cut down. 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now I save these because these are great for stamping sentiments on, and all you have to do is you can cut a little flag, but these are really good pieces, so don't toss those scraps. For my Whisper White scraps, I usually keep just a little, this is not the one I use, but I have a little basket that I just toss my scraps in for Whisper White because I always need those close by. All right, so let's kind of organize our bits and pieces here. And there we go. Now I do need to probably clean off some of my stamps real quick because I was stamping in Melon Mambo earlier. So let's get these a little, get them clean, wipe my block off. I still have lots of red ink from the Christmas retreat on some of these. All right, got lots of little bits and pieces for this one. Okay, that one doesn't go on here. All right, so we got that clean, got some stamp chamois there, which is nice to have that. Okay, let's see if I'm missing anything else. I don't think so. I am going to grab a little scrap of paper just to have underneath. Since I've been rearranging and cleaning my craft room, my big pad, oh wait a minute, here's a piece. Well, I'll just use this. My big pad of grid paper is not right where I normally keep it, so I'm still learning where I've put some of my stuff. Okay, so this is our inside of our pocket, and for this one, I did my little ladybug this way. We can see, I'd like to be interested to see what you guys think about doing some of these print wings. What do you think about that? I actually think that's kind of cute. Oh, Susie, I'm glad you got your cards finished. I think that's kind of cute, actually. And so I'm going to make sure that I use that. If I put that there, I'm going to make sure I use that piece of paper. I got a little bit of pink on that. So let's put this together. I've got my liquid glue here. And I'm just going to, for now, do that. Get some of that centerpiece, because this one I'm going to glue down pretty well. And then I'm going to turn it over, and because I don't want this to catch when they pull this in and out, I'm going to try to get the body of it glued down. I love those little wings. I think that's fun. Okay, so I'm just going to press that there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to hold off on this. And let's go ahead and do our base. So we've got this scored in 2 different places. Let's move that out of the way for now. And for this card, you really want to come in with your bone folder and burnish these score lines really well so it will lay good and flat when you're done. So always flip it over, get both sides. Okay, so the big flap is going to be on the top. The smaller flap is going to be on the bottom. Okay, and so let's lay out our pieces, see how we want to do this. There's that. And I really like the plaid. I think that's what I'm going to use. So, thanks, Karen. I'm glad you like the flowers. I think that was really cool. It's just something different to do. So, get the liquid glue. I love the liquid glue because it does give you a minute to slide it around just a little bit in case you don't get it lined up perfectly. Just be really careful that you don't use too much, because if it squishes out the edge, it is a mess. All right, So let's do just a little, plus it's just fast too. So then we put our smaller strip down here. Just kind of, it dries really quickly, so just like to give it a press for just a second. Now, on this bottom flap, you're going to put just a little bit of liquid glue here and here to form the pocket. And so you just want to be really, really careful as you put this out. Just a very thin line. And then you're going to press it over. And I keep these little clothespins right here. And I just hook those on there while I'm letting it dry. Now, your card is going to slip in right like this. And so the way I stamped my sentiment on here was to get that in there, and because I wanted to make sure that my sentiment stayed above the line. And really, that should be good. It doesn't take very long at all for that to dry. The one thing you want to do, whoops, is make sure that your card is in here really good and straight before you stamp. All right, so I'm going to stamp this in basic black, and it says you can bug me anytime. And when I'm just tapping straight up and down, I am not rocking my stamp onto the ink pad, straight up and down. And then I'm going to line it up. It just doesn't look like it's straight, so I'm going to have to fix that before I stamp it. I want it to be straight. Okay, that's better. I feel better about it. Ink up just a little bit more. Make sure I've got the stamp going the right way. Stamp straight down. Don't rock it. Just hold it in place for a second. Let some of the ink seep into the paper and then pull straight up. There you go. All right. So now once you do that, you can pull it out, and then we can get back to stamping that. Okay, trying not to get ink all over my hands. Okay, so now bring this back over here so I don't get ink everywhere. I'm going to grab my, I think I'm going to actually stamp in Highland Heather because it is just a little bit lighter than the Gorgeous Grape, but it definitely coordinates. Let me put my glue back. And I'm going to stamp this triple flower here, and I always try to stamp a little bit first on my paper to make sure it's good. And I'm going to bring back, because we're using photopolymer stamps, I want to bring back my little mat so it has just a little bit of cushion underneath. And I like the way that looks. So I'm going to stamp at full strength, and I'm just going to kind of come into the corners and stamp these in corners. And then there is this little, where is it? I've got a couple stamps, one going one way. This is like a little triple dot. And I'm going to come in and just stamp these for the center of the flowers. Hey, Paula. Hope you can come to Chicks and Chocolate next week. Miss seeing you. So yeah, that was one thing I forgot at the beginning of the video to say, that Chicks and Chocolate is next week, next Thursday, the 27th. At Woodlawn Christian Church. And if you would like to come out and stamp with us and have some chocolate. I'm also going to take this. This is like a little splatter thing. I don't know what it is, but, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Sometimes you just got to know when to stop, right? Okay, so we've got the inside of our card done. And I may just put a little bit of splatter, though, on this one. I think I'm going to take my pen and just do a little, just kind of very light, just a little flicky motion. We'll let that sit aside for a second, and then we will make our tag for the front. So I'm going to stamp hello, and this, now this, I can't remember, I'll have to look and see where this is from, because this was actually just sitting on my counter. And I think I know where it's from. Yeah, it's from Artistically Inked. So there is a hello stamp in the Ladybug, but it's a really tiny hello, and so I just didn't think it was going to be what I wanted. And because I've got the Ladybug sitting on here, so let's go back and look at our sample card. Because I've got my Ladybug sitting over here, I want to stamp this over to the right just a little bit so that the Ladybug has plenty of room to sit on that stamp. So that was a good one. And then I'm going to put some flowers down here in the bottom corner. Don't want to have too much white space hanging out. And then I'm going to come back in again with the little dots and just put those in the center of our flowers. Clean that off. And then we're going to put together our Ladybug. So for this one, I may just do, I did the little one with the patterned wings. Now, let me see. We did the floral, so we could do the little wings like this, which would match the paper here. What do you think? Do we want to do it that way, or do we want to do, we could do the solid, because we do have the little wing dots here. So let me show you the option. So we can come in here with our wings or with our dots. Probably an official name for that. I have no idea what it would be. So we could either do that and have our Ladybug this way. I guess we could put dots on these wings if we wanted to. All right, Susie likes the plaid. What else? Who else? Or we could do this one. I guess we could put the dots on the plaid. I never thought about it. But I think I like the plaid too. Let's just do something different. All right, so I'm going to come in with a mini Stampin' Dimensional. And if you don't have mini ones, that's okay. You can just trim down a regular dimensional. All right, so the vote is plaid with no dots, it looks like. And I'm just going to put that right there. Now, before I put it down, I'm going to take my bone folder and just curl it up a little bit. Just to kind of give it, now this may not be the right way that they're supposed to go, but it's the way I said they're supposed to go. So, and that when you do this, it just kind of breaks up the fibers of the paper a little bit, and then it just will give you a little bit of dimension. Okay, so now we're going to just put those right there. We could go in and put some rhinestones for the little dots. Ha 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 ha! How about that? That would make me very happy, you know. Okay, I think I'm done with the black ink, so I'm going to get this closed up so that I don't get my hands in black ink, because I just feel like I'm getting ready to make a mess. Okay, let me grab some dimensionals. And just put a couple on here. Don't want her going anywhere. Yes, ma'am, Brenda, we gotta have some bling on here. I love it. Okay, so then we're just going to kind of set her right there. And now, just to make sure we got it laid out. Now we're going to put some dimensionals on here, but we're only going to make sure we put the dimensionals on the top half, because this is going to open up this way. So just pay attention to where your stuff is going. Just on the top half. I love how easy these are to get off now. Oh my goodness. We used to have to fight with those so bad. Okay, there we go. Got that little card together, and now we can slip this to the inside. And there is our card. Now we need to put some bling on here. Now, on the other card, I put the black matte dots, but it's a brighter card, and so those black dots show up really well. But I'm afraid with that purple, they're not going to show up, and I really want some more sparkle on it instead. So I'm sure you know where we're going with this. So here are my good old favorites, our regular clear rhinestones, basic rhinestones. And so I'm just going to come in and pop a few of these around. Oh yeah, that's just so much better. Looky there. And you could even, if you wanted to, you could put them on the center. They fit right in between those 3 little black dots. Look at that. It's a beautiful day. There we go. So there is that card. I love it. I love the wings. There we go. And then we've got this. This is the pattern paper that's on the front. So it all is coordinating. Now this one, remember, we really adhered down flat because it's going to be slipping in and out, and you don't want that to get caught. The other thing is you do still have room on the back. If you actually had a long note to write, then you could totally do that. Now even if you wanted to, you could come in here and put another piece. If you really wanted to get wild and crazy, you could, because I have scraps, I could put that on here, and actually I think that's really pretty. And I may go ahead and do that. I really kind of like that. So guess what? We're going to do it. Oh, yes, Kathy, absolutely. A gift card would fit in here. Totally. This is a great way to give a gift card. You could attach it to the back of this white piece, or you could just tuck it in front of the note part itself. There we go. I love that. So now it's all coordinated. Let's come out just a little bit more. Monochromatic. I love that. Now, see how this is it's flapping up a little bit? If you will just come back in with your bone folder and really take the tip of that and press this crease down really well. And then flip and do the same thing. There we go. It's going to lay much flatter. Now the other thing that we can do, and I don't do this often, and I should do it a lot more often than I do, but let's make a coordinating envelope while we're here. And since we're using all this beautiful designer series paper, let's make an envelope that coordinates using the designer series paper. So I think I really love the plaid, so that's what I'm going to use. So all you have to do, so the 6x6 paper is perfect because it's going to fit right over here. So what you're going to do is come in with your liquid glue, and don't get too close to the edge because you know it's going to smush. So just kind of come in. Some people use their seal, but I really kind of like the liquid glue because it gives me a little, again, a few minutes to kind of move it around if I need to. Come right up to the edge, but not over it. So you can put your flap down. And I did get I saw a little bit coming out there at the edge, so I'm going to try to get that off of there. And again, when you're trying to do this, the liquid glue helps because it's just, sometimes you just have to move it around a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to keep pressing that for a sec until I know that it's really good and sealed and dried on there. And then you just take your paper snips and cut right around the edge. Just kind of lay that blade right up next to your envelope edge. And then whenever you get to the corner, you keep your blade straight and you turn the paper, and that will give you a nice smooth turn. All right, there we go. So now we have our coordinating envelope, and then I do this, and then I toss this into my scrap drawer that is for my brights. so that when I need a piece of paper, I've got it right there. So here is our card and coordinating envelope. And again, let's see, let's bring in there is our Melon Mambo card. So you can see the difference with the wings. I really love these, the patterned wings. And then here's this one. And those are the more simple wings. But there we go. Susie suggested putting the bling on the antenna right there. We totally could do that. We could also go in with some Wink of Stella on the wings. There's all kinds of stuff we could do. Goodness gracious. We could bling this baby out just as much as we wanted to. And again, I really like having the sentiment right there when we open it up. And again, you can just tuck your gift card back here in front, however you wanted to do it, if you wanted to use that as a gift card. So there is that. Now, I hope you like that. And I will put the measurements up in the post when we're done so that you can, if you wanted to make one of these, you can. I'm going to try and get some of my stuff cleaned up here for a second. So yeah, I did mention Chicks and Chocolate is next Thursday night. Tomorrow is the deadline to register. And so if you are wanting to attend, please go online and register. The link is in a post just before this, I believe. I had posted it earlier today. So the link is there for you to register for Chicks and Chocolate. And we will be using the Cottage Rose, Abigail Rose Suite. And that makes some really beautiful cards too. So I wanted to show you this card. This is one I made earlier. And it was just a fun card. I haven't finished it off quite yet. So I'm going to do that while we're here chatting. And let's see, I need some. The one thing I wish we could talk Stampin' Up! Into is making all of our. Nope, I want to do yellow on his nose. I'm going to go back over with red or blackberry. Making all of our Stampin' Blends in all of the colors. That's what we need. Now, this ribbon. Whoops, that's the wrong color. This ribbon I made by taking my dark Blackberry Bliss, and this is the white, let's see, crinkled seam binding, and then I was able to just color. Let me show you. I've got my scrap paper here. This is one way you can make coordinating ribbon. If you have the Stampin' Blends markers, you can just go over. You can let it dry, and then you can add more until it gets to be the color that you want, the darkness, the depth that you want, and it dries really quickly. They're alcohol-based markers, so they dry very quickly, and so you can just keep doing that. I'm going to come in here and do his little beak here. These are the party puffins, and I should have done this on my Stamparatus so that, because I didn't get 100% coverage. I'm just going to kind of come in here with my basic black marker and just fill in a few spots and just make sure I could do this. You do have to have a little bit of a steady hand, but since this is a really simple image, it's not a lot of crazy lines or whatever, it's not too hard to kind of come in here and fill in where some of that. But if I'd done it on my Stamparatus, I could have just kept on inking and stamping until it got to be exactly how I wanted it. And I should have done that. Anytime I have a solid black image, I really try to use my Stamparatus because it just does make it easier. And now I'm also, let's make his little feet. What color? I guess his little feet could be yellow too. So I'm using So Saffron, dark So Saffron for his feet. And that's, I think this is, yeah, So Saffron is what's in this paper back here. And so that's what I'm pulling in. And then I'm just going to come in with some gray granite And just kind of come around and just ground him a little bit. And then too, you could just kind of come around, just put a little shadow on the outside of him. It just kind of makes him stand out just a little bit. Gives it a little dimension. There we go. So that was one. And if for some reason you ever think, like, oh, I got that too much, you can always come in with your color lifter and just kind of come around the edge. And it will, you won't notice it immediately, but it will lighten that up just a little bit. I think it's fine, but I just wanted to show you that little trick. And then for the inside, I want to take a piece of basic white, and I've got my little pre-cut pieces, but I do need to trim it down just a tad. So I'm going to trim it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And so that's the size that kind of fits in the inside of a card, but still gives you a little bit of a border. And then I'm also going to take a piece of this designer series paper, which I've actually did a little bit of scribbling on, but I have a strip here that's just fine. And I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch strip. It's already 4 inches wide. So let me put that away. I love having my table I have 2 layers on my table. I've got like furniture feet in between them, so I've got this little area it's about that deep, so I can slip my paper cutter and my score pal or my scoreboard, stamp and score. I'm not even sure what the name of that one is. And I'm gonna take this little designer series paper and just run it along the bottom, just to coordinate. Use my stamp and seal. One thing that the more and more I use this, the more I find the lighter the pressure that you can use with this, the better it's going to do. If you start pressing really hard on there, it's going to cause it to the adhesive to gum up, and we don't want that. All right. So there we go. And then if you had a sentiment, you wanted to stamp the sentiment in there, you could. But there is that little card, my coordinating inside. The other thing you could do is take that designer series paper and make an envelope that coordinates just like we did with this one. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And that's really all I've got for you tonight. And I was going to try to do another one, but I'm tired. How about that? I'm tired. It's been a long day. And I don't want to take your time up too much, but I think this was fun. So don't forget that we have, I'm going to try to flip you guys up here real quick while let's see, there's my lovely, there we go. Yay, so I survived. Don't forget we have our joining special, $155 worth of product that you get to pick out for $99 and free shipping. So that's pretty awesome. Would love to have you be a part of our Smoky Mountain Stampin' community, family, team, whatever you want to call it. We have a lot of fun. So if you have any questions about the projects that I did, please let me know. Leave a comment, or you can send me a message through Facebook Messenger, or you can send me an email, which is brandy@brandyrude.com. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun, and I will hopefully see you next week, maybe before. We'll see. I've got some weekend time, and so and so hopefully I'll get to come on and do a Facebook Live this weekend as well. So thanks, guys. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Ginger. Make sure that thanks, Kathy. Make sure that you if you like this, share this video, because I'm almost to 500 followers. Like, I think it's at 487. So I would really love to get to 500 followers this weekend. Yay. Or more. That would be great. So share the video if you liked it. Share it with your friends, your crafters, and let them know that you liked it. Invite them to follow the Facebook page. or you can also invite them into the Stampin' VIPs group. If you're not in the Stampin' VIPs group and you would like to be, let me know and I will send you an invite. I try to invite folks as they pop up, so if I haven't done that, it's just because I have overlooked it and I didn't realize it. So anybody can join my Stampin' VIPs group, and I would love to have you join us. So hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you next week. Thanks.